What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Behind the Hustle. I'm your host, Kika Wise, and I'm so excited for today's episode. We are taking a deep dive into funnels. Put some fire in the chat if you've ever heard of what a funnel is. And I have a special guest. He's joining me in a few minutes, so stick around. While we wait, please follow these directions because this is what keeps me going. This is what keeps me dropping gems on each and every episode. Put some fire in the chat if you've heard of funnels, but like this video. Yep, like it, share it, and let's keep it going. You guys are so funny. Yes. Okay. So today we're taking a deep dive into funnels. And let me tell you how this all happened. So on this show, I really like to give you real information that can really help you today. Like not tomorrow, but like when this episode is over, you can literally start building a funnel today. And I have this formula that I want to share with all of you. How much do you make per hour? Say it in your head. You don't have to put it in the chat. So if you have a job, how much money do you make per hour? Right? Stay with me. Take that number. How many hours a day do you work? So say you get paid $10 an hour. This is going to change your whole perspective, and this funnel will help you get there. So say you're working and getting $10 an hour, 8 hours a day. That's $80 that you earn for working 8 hours. You work 8 hours to get $80. Well, today, ladies, gentlemen, everybody else, we are going to talk to you about how you can make that $80 in literally 2 seconds. 2 seconds versus 8 hours. So the whole idea of this channel is to help you see a broader perspective. And I'm not saying quit your job, don't work for anyone. Yes, minus lunch and gas. Oh, don't even get me. To get you to see a whole nother perspective about business. And this is a conscious community. We have to be conscious about how we spend time with our families, how we spend time with our loved ones. Are we raising our children, or are we so busy that we're ignoring them? So this episode and many episodes to come, we are going to help you think outside of the box. You see this box? Thinking outside of the box, because most people say, I'm stuck because I have to pay bills. Well, if you're working 8 hours to get $80, what can you do to make that $80 quicker than working 8 hours? You see what I'm saying? You see the whole thing? So for those who don't know, I'm Kika. I created a franchise from scratch. I started a business to take care of my small son, and it turned into this whole big thing. I franchised, it's called Kika Stretch Studios across the country. I have locations across the country. I started my whole business with $500, and the whole purpose of me starting was to take care of my child. So I started from the bottom, now we're here. So all the content and all the things I'm bringing you are really things that have helped me. And the funnel situation, wait and tuned in, Tony. He is coming on in a few minutes. And I literally have heard about funnels forever, but I was like, oh, whatever, who cares? Funnels, it's just some fancy word for something that doesn't make sense. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, I took a deep dive and I actually got into the art of creating a funnel, and my mind was blown away. And so Tony, he's joining us in a few minutes. He is going to help teach us how to create a funnel and how to generate income while you sleep. Put some fire in the chat if you want to generate income while you sleep. So when you wake up, money's already there. And it's not just about money. Yes, passive income. It's about being free, having a schedule that allows you to be free. So you can spend time with your kids, so you can do the things that you want to do. You have to figure out ways to do this now before it's too late. So get So basically, I thought that funnel creation was a great topic to have. And so Tony is going to come in a few seconds. But let me tell you what I think of funnels. So basically, everyone's used to websites. You put your information on the website, you go there, you send people there. But a website is kind of static. There's no movement. People go there, they look for information, but it requires someone to call, to wait for an email. It requires a human to interact with the person who went on the website in order to get the transaction done. Oh, he's here. So the thing about the funnel is that it works without all that having to happen. It just flows and it works. What's up? How are you?
What's up? What's up? How you doing? Thanks for having me.
I was telling them how I was like, I have to do a funnel episode because the two funnels I recently created have blown my mind. And so I was like, I'm not one to try to be an expert at everything. I'm an expert at franchising. I'm an expert at building brands. I am a newbie to building funnels. So I was like, I want to find someone who's an expert, and I don't know how, but your picture popped up, and I was like, so here we are. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Such late notice, but you are truly the perfect person for this.
Thanks
You're welcome. So I just wanted to introduce you. Tuned in Tony. He is a master at funnel creation and much more. He's going to tell you all about that. But can you just give us a brief introduction and let us know like how you got started into funnel creation?
Yeah, so thanks for asking me that question. So just like anybody else who's just going through life and stumbles upon something great. So like I'm not anyone special that did something that someone can't do. I've tried multiple businesses that have not done well, that were doing well at certain points. Like I used to do clothes back in the day. Like everyone's like, let me start a t-shirt brand. I did that for like 10 years, probably since college. Scaled that business up to like 700 something thousand, but that doesn't mean it was profit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot of expenses to where I was actually losing a lot of money. And then I think I just had an epiphany. So one of my mentors and best friends' name is Justin Phillips. He had built a brand called Support Black College that did really well, like $5 million. And then he exited and he had a conversation with me and said, hey, you got to get out of that warehouse. Because he saw my skill. He said, you're like a level A talent playing in like a C-level field. And then I was like, man, you think that. And then, when something real is spoken to you or spoken over you, sometimes you may not agree with it then, but it starts to make sense. It was literally, I was at the warehouse and my whole staff was just gone for certain reasons, sick, out of town, whatever. It was just one of those days. And then, I don't have kids yet, but I was standing at that warehouse shipping. And I said, I don't want to be standing here one day, 35 years old, and I got to rush to go get my kid one day. I don't see my life like that anymore. And it all started going downhill. And then I got really broke. And then my guy, Justin, had gave me the opportunity to design a funnel for him and Ellie's Black Friday challenge a year ago. And then I had a graphic design background because I had been doing graphic design since I was like 18 from YouTube University learning Photoshop. So then like I had most funnels were real clunky, scammy, flat looking. I brought a different element to the game to where people were like, yo, like who did that? So what I learned was I had a high level skill, but it was in the wrong vehicle the whole time. So when I placed it in this vehicle, it was like I went from being cool Tony that had event spaces, t-shirt brand to extremely valuable because now I'm helping people make money, right? Because I understood systems from the clothing business, but I understood design and aesthetic from being a graphic designer. And then that opportunity opened up to one of Justin's friends named Will Rivera, who has an Amazon automation offer. And then he had like an inner circle. He allowed me to build funnels for his team. And I built up this massive portfolio of like big time course creators, online people. And then just within a year of being really broke to starting that, We just like right now, August 22nd, we're at 106,000 in revenue in just funnels for the month. So it's crazy. What I want to share with people is that I'm no different than anybody. I've gone through bad things, but find your skill set that and put it in the right vehicle. You know what I mean? Because it can make a world of a change.
Okay. So many gems, right? Okay, but what advice, because I think that's more than half the battle,
Mm-hmm.
finding your skill set and putting it in the right vehicle. How does one do that?
Yeah, so with that, there's not really a real answer, that like a direct answer, right? But I would say, like, even with me running ads for my clients and building these funnels, my main motto has always been test everything. Don't just say like, hey, I started an event space or I started a clothing business, I have to stick at this. Like, try different things. But also what I can say, me failing in the past has shown me signs to like, don't stay there. It's okay. One of my favorite books is Who Moved My Cheese? And it's always talking about change is inevitable. And you have to understand, in the book, the cheese was getting smaller the whole time. They just weren't looking at the signs. So sometimes we got to look at those signs. And even if you're passionate about something, if it's not making sense, it's not making sense. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, it's so crazy you say that, because I had this business and it just wasn't working out from the beginning. And
Mhm.
so, but I kept pushing it because we're like, oh, I have a business, I have to do this business. And it just wasn't working out from the beginning. I was holding on, to the point where it just came to me like, why are you trying to make something work that doesn't?
And a lot
And
of times we do it for other people. Like my mom was like, "Why are you just going to give the t-shirt business up? You're just going to stop?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am, because if I start asking you for money, you're going to be mad." You know what I'm saying?
that's so powerful, because much of like what we see, even like on Instagram, all these things, it's the ego. It's people's
Mhm,
ego. And so you keep trying to do something that doesn't work because you're afraid to say it didn't work. But
mhm.
if it doesn't work, it doesn't mean something else won't work. Look at you, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So for those who are new to this and they're like, what is a funnel, right? Is it a funnel cake? Does it have powdered sugar over it? Like, what is it, right? Okay, I'm like, I hope you know what a funnel cake is. Otherwise, you're gonna be like, it's just this. Okay. So, what is a sales funnel? For
Excellent
the-
question. Yeah. So a lot of us are very familiar with what a traditional website is. And funnels are not made to extradite and kill your website. Websites are still good for credibility and showing an overview of your company. But what's so great about a funnel for everyone watching is it's a marketing tool. And what it allows us to do is set up a customer journey where we have one action on each page, where we're allowed to take a lead from cold all the way to warm to hot to when they buy from us. Because see, the issue with a traditional website is that it has choice overload. It's got your hours on there, about us, your services, everything. And people are like, man, I'm hoping somebody just goes to my contact form. No, let's create the narrative. So what we may do is create a landing page that has maybe some bait, what we would call, which would be like an opt-in. So opt in to receive this free PDF to learn X, Y, and Z. Now they were interested. They're like, it doesn't cost me anything. I'll opt in, give my phone number, name, email. The next page could be like a video training where you're explaining and talking about the pain points that that avatar may be going through. And then you're going to explain how that solution that you have can work for them. And then it can either lead to buying a product or booking a call. And then there's so many other cool things that we can do. But what I like to tell people, not to get too in depth, is don't feel like we're doing anything new. How many of you guys have in here have ever rented a U-Haul before? Probably a bunch of y'all, right? U-Haul can take you from spending $50 up front to $600 by the end of that checkout period. Let me show you how. You go there because you need a truck. You say $50, $40 for the truck. Then they start upselling and downselling by saying, do you want roadside assurance, boxes, movers, and all of that? And it increases their average order value. I'm just trying to help everyone on here do the exact same thing with their business. You see what I'm saying?
Can we just pause? Because, right. because people listen to these topics and they're like someone, are they trying to sell something? No, you have to listen to the information that's being given, because we all fall victim to all of these systems and processes, but then we don't use these systems and processes for our own business. And we're sitting there being the consumer instead of creating that product for others to consume. So it's like flipping it, reversing it, and putting the power back in your hands so that you can do what everyone else is doing to make a living consciously, ethically. But there's a science to it. And this episode is giving you the science of not just having a dead website that's like, when I think of websites, I think of like a picture that's static and old and doesn't move. And it makes me very unhappy. So when I think of funnels, it's almost like this is a website that takes your customer by the hand and is like, do this, do this. You want to do this? Do this. Now here's the promised land. So
Exactly.
that's how I feel about it. So let's talk about the financial power of a
Hmm.
funnel. And before you came on, really quick, I know you guys already heard this, but I have this example of, I ask people like, how much do you make at your job per hour? And so maybe that number is $10, right?
Hmm.
So you work 8 hours a day. That's $80 that you earn in 8 hours. So
Hmm.
my question to everyone who feels stuck, people feel stuck, what can you do in an hour to get that same $80 instead of having to work a whole day shift? And when your mindset switches like that, you're able to start creating and generating your own income. So funnels, I mean, you could sell something for $80 in 5 seconds. So we always hear about the power of funnels. Can you share a success story that showcases the true power of building a great funnel?
Yeah, so I have a lot of them in all different types of like levels, from
The
like
best one.
small to big. So I want to start with something that's super attainable for anybody that's on here. We just had a guy that signed on with us. His name is Chris, and he's in the clothing brand space. And what was crazy about what Chris was doing, Chris already had a clothing brand. And the reason why I'm using Chris is because many of you guys out there are already have some type of skill, passion, or whatever that can be packaged and taught to somebody. Chris, guys, was actually on his last leg when he came to work with me. Like, this has to work, Tony, type situation. What we were able to do was package his skill set into a digital course. We used like Go High Levels course situation and funnel. We built him a webinar funnel. He didn't yet have the money to spend on ads, but what he did, and he only has 7,000 followers, is he went really hard on all his channels, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And he just kept promoting that he's going to be teaching y'all everything that he knows about the clothing business. Well, he got about 70 to 80 leads that signed up for his webinar. He was working now because he didn't have ad money, and he was messaging them through like the funnel system by saying like show up, sending emails. He made $4,000 in his first week and a half. And that's a small situation of someone that tried and worked. Because with a lot of people, I don't want to be the guy that comes on here and lie to you guys and say, like, just because you get a funnel, it's going to work. It's a tool. And Chris used that tool. Now,
Right.
I've seen other people who have built their business, like, and of course, it wasn't like overnight. And hey, guys, I've been in a lot of businesses and I've never seen people generate the type of revenue so fast that I've seen in this digital business, like people being able to help their family out and do that, because there's this book that's called One to Many by Jason Fladlin. So let's break that down. When you do trainings and webinars, you're that one person, but you're training many people at one time. And that's how you make the money. Because if you can tell your skill set to a bunch of different people virtually, like we're in this room right now, and then you drop your offer for whatever it is, $100, $400, $997, all you need is a couple people buying. And to sum this up right here, I'm reading a book right now that says 10x is better than 2x. And what I mean by that is the amount of time and effort you're putting into your current careers and stuff like this, and you're just 2x, and you could be 10xing with that same amount of effort and energy by just packaging and selling to many versus just doing that one thing that you're doing.
It's so wild because my whole thing is like, you have to find what you're naturally good at, what you're passionate about, and do it for a living. And once you tap into that, people are like, okay, I have to pay for my life. But you can create something and pay for your life. You don't have to be on the receiving side of a paycheck, even though I'm not saying quit your job. Rest in peace to my job. It's been 12 years. Haven't worked
Yeah.
in but but I'm saying like we have to understand that we do have the ability to create, and funnels just really I'm just like obsessed right now. So
What I
okay,
would say before you switch to
yes, please.
for the people watching is I'm probably one of the most realist, genuine people that when it comes to course creating and stuff, I'm not the one that's going to lie to you and tell you these things. Does it take work? Yes. But what I would say is you're already like going to work, whatever you're passionate in, package it up and do this on the side as a hobby. And then you're going to start seeing like one is either going to be a great additional income as you grow it, or you're going to mess around and it just takes over and become your main income. But you need to start if you're passionate about anything. I don't care if it's detailing cars. Other people want to learn how to detail cars. Teach them. You know what I mean?
Everybody knows something that somebody wants to know. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, that's huge. That's huge. Okay, so once someone's intrigued by funnels, where do they start? Like, and how important is it to understand your audience, your
Yeah.
target audience?
So what I would say is um where you start at, a lot of people can think is how great my funnel looks, how you know how many pages it has, upsells and downsells. The first place you need to start is understanding your messaging. So when people ask me what's the difference between a successful client and a non-successful client, the successful client can have the ugliest funnel, but his messaging is clear as day to speak to the customer avatar about what
Yeah,
is your pain point, how you need to solve it, and what we can do to help you get there. So they're going to present pain points and they're going to present the vehicle to take you to where you need to get. And then after that, that's when we can now go into the strategy of the funnel. But I would always say get clarity of what you're selling. A lot of people have it in their head, but they don't know how to articulate what they're really selling and how they can help people. And that's the biggest difference that I see.
right. Okay, so you're an expert, and I would never suggest someone try to create their own funnel when they first start, right?
Right.
But I do suggest they go into Chat GPT, which is entangled into this conversation, and just to understand what the avatar is, like to teach themselves what the funnel is about and like what it should kind of look like. So can you tell us like how you can use Chat GPT to kind of learn who your avatar is and learn how to speak to them?
Yeah, perfect example. So as we know, Chat GPT is brilliant. And it's not made to replace anybody. In a sense, it's made for us to like work faster and work more efficient. That's how I would use it, at least. I wouldn't look at it
Yeah.
as a place. I would be like, how can I move faster with this? So Chat GPT is really good because it's almost like, especially if you don't have a team, let Chat GPT be the person that you have a conversation with. Tell them, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm passionate about. What type of person would buy this? Then be like, can you break that down a little bit more to like maybe what's the best age group, what's the that, and then you could just start compiling information so that you can understand what you do better. And then what you can ask Chat GPT is say, hey, can you create a landing page based on all the information we just spoke about above? Because some people who probably don't use it every day don't really realize that it's storing the data from your conversation. So if you're in that same chat, it remembers what you're talking about. So now that it's broken down all of these different variations of demographics, who the person is, who you should target, ask them to write the landing page. So then when you go to, let's just say someone like me, but maybe if you go to someone cheaper, even like you go on Fiverr, at least now you have information and copy to where they can help you out and put that together for you.
See, that's how you know the type of person you are. And I just want to bring that to everyone's attention.
Hmm.
He's an expert at what he does. He has a lot going on, but he's like, or you could just go to Fiverr. We speak
Yeah.
about Fiverr all the time. So there's levels to this. There's levels to this.
Right.
So, okay, the landing page is where the magic happens, right? Or where it begins, right? So, what are the must have elements to a landing page and what is a landing page so people understand?
Yeah, so a landing page is pretty much just going to be and it could be different. It's all based on strategy. So
Right.
everyone that like I work with, or I suggest people when you're talking to Chat GPT, try to figure out once you understand what you're going to sell, what's going to be the strategy to get somebody through each step. So let me simplify that for you. So to not think about it, we have to first figure out how to bait somebody in. If we were in the mall, there would be a sign that said, Hollister would say jeans are 50% off. Ooh, they got 50% off jeans. Now you're running in the store, right? So we got to think about that for ourselves as well. What is something that doesn't hurt you that you possibly could give away, meaning an ebook, maybe a case study of a short video training to get them to either opt in or come to your page. And like I said, there's one action per page. We don't want to overwhelm them because the main thing is where if I kind of go back when I was in clothes, we used to always try to sell on the front end. No, what we want to do now is collect the data because when we collect the data, it's all about the long-term play of nurturing that lead to get them to become a customer. So then depending on the strategy, it could either take them to that training that I said, or I'll show you a different strategy. Let's say, for instance, I'm a funnel builder. There's something called tripwires. I landed on a page. It was like a $7 PDF that was like how to create your project brief for funnels. I spent $7 on it. And then now my card information is stored in the funnel. And then it takes me to a one-time offer where they sell me something complimentary. And all I got to do is click a button and it's charging my card again. So there's multiple strategies. It's just about which one works for what you got going on. And that's what I love about funnels. We can just customize them to whatever we need to create that customer buying process.
Whew, okay. So for those who are anti-social media, Facebook, all these third-party companies, basically what he's saying is like, and it's so crazy because one of my business partners has built and scaled multi-million-dollar businesses, and he's all about creating the community first.
Mm-hmm.
And me, typical bootstrap entrepreneur who started with $500, I'm like, and most people sell right now. I have to, when you first start a business, I have to cover my light bill. I have to pay for this. No, the power is in building the community first. So, like a Facebook who keeps all of your data to themselves, you're creating your own data, your own pool, your own community. So now you have all these people that you can sell to and talk to. So the power really is building the community first, like you said, and then offering them different things and then attaching it to, what they want.
Exactly.
So once someone lands on our page, right, what journey do we want them to take them on? I know you said like offer them something like 50% off or like a major thing, but then after they're like, okay, cool. What would be like the next two best strategies?
Yeah. So let's just do this real quick.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah, I'm just gonna share my screen real quick.
Yes. Everybody, your phone and take screenshots right now.
Yeah. Let me just share my screen. So where are we at? Right here. Share screen. Boom. All right. So let's go into right here. This is just one person. So Benny does real estate and
They
he
can't
wants
see it.
oh,
They
they
can't
can't
see it. Let me add it.
okay.
Okay, perfect.
You can see it?
Yep.
So this is Benny. We made this today. How to passively invest and capitalize on multifamily housing boom. So he's in real estate. This is what he loves to do. This is what he does every day. So someone comes here, they click this information, they're going to opt into his page. Once they opt into his page on here, and it's not done yet, it's going to land on this page right here, how to get double-digit returns by investing in real estate. We would put his video right here, and then under it, it just explains information. And then once we finish it, it will lead them to schedule a consultation. So this is what we call our typical VSL funnel, which is called a video sales letter, because this video right here is what's going to help push people over the edge. Now I can show you guys kind of like a webinar funnel. So this funnel right here that I'll show you guys, this is a big client. We go to his funnel. and he's got a webinar. So for his webinar, he's training a whole bunch of people. It's actually this one. So when I say one to many, this is exactly what he's doing. So people land on this landing page, and then the goal of this landing page is to get people to sign up for his free training. So he shows his credibility, who he is. People sign up and they register. So the strategy for this funnel is after they register, let me register. Boom. They join the webinar. The next thing that happens is we're spending money on advertising dollars. How do we recoup some of those dollars? We sell a webinar prep kit. So then in this webinar prep kit, we just took somebody that was curious in Justin's topic, and now they registered. One-time offer. He has a video explaining that, hey, if you buy this prep kit for $27, you'll be more prepared for the challenge. Completely optional. So let's say somebody says, oh, I don't want to buy it. It's $27. I'm not feeling that. They say, no, thanks. They don't want it. It downsells to $17. And then if they don't want to buy that, it takes them to the confirmation page. But what you guys didn't see is in this system, I just received a text message and an email thanking me for joining his training. And then also I can now join his community or follow him on social media. But instead of, to bring it back to you guys, instead of doing all of this stuff on the same page like a traditional website, we took you step by step by step so that you can get the most out of it. He can get you to do everything he wanted you to do. But if it was a traditional website, you would have picked one thing to do. You'd be like, whoa, 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 too many options. Let me just pick one thing. But what you did, let's go back. You registered. He now has your phone number, name, and email, and he can market to you and text message to you. Then he possibly just sold you on a low ticket offer, which was $27.17. And then on the third page, he just asked you to join his community and follow him. All of that happened because we took you step by step by step.
Wow. So it's literally, guiding the consumer through a website. Like you said, you're kind of like, oh, where do I look? Too many pages. I don't care about that. But this is strategically structured around the ideal customer, and it's going to lead them to where you want them to go. It's half of the battle, or more than half.
Okay. Exactly.
So I've heard about A/B testing. Can you explain the importance of that and maybe suggest some tools?
Yeah, 100%. So what's great, whether you want to use ClickFunnels or Go High Level, they have A/B testing where you can have two different pages, and then you can see which one gets the best opt-in. And A/B testing is great because, like I said, my motto is test everything. A lot of times people come to me, since I'm a marketer, and they say, what's going to work? And I say, you know what? I actually can't tell you that. All we can do is read data. We may think that, creative A is a banger, but next thing you know, it's B. And we see that every single day in our own content that we post. A lot of times we spend time like, oh, I'm going to make this piece of content. It's going to be amazing. And it's the basic iPhone one that just wins every single time because it's just super organic. So A/B testing is extremely important because you can't go off of what your passion and your bias is. You have to look at the data, and then that's what the A/B testing is going to do, is show you the data, which is going to get you better results and keep you more profitable. Because a lot of times we want to run what we feel is best, not looking at the data, and it's costing us money.
And we don't want that to happen.
Right.
So we can't improve what we don't measure, like you just said. So what are the main metrics someone should look at starting out? Like, what should they focus on?
So depending on what they're doing, those metrics are different.
Okay.
So for instance, Justin, who I just showed you, who's running a webinar, his main metric that he's studying is his cost per lead. How much does it cost to get somebody to sign up? Me, I run a video sales letter to scale my business. So I'm looking at how much does it cost to get a qualified book call. So cost per lead, maybe $5 per lead. Cost per book call could be $85 to $200 per call. So it really depends on strategy once again and like what you're going for. But most of the time, it's always going to be cost per lead, cost per acquisition, or cost per book call.
Right. I hope you guys wrote that down. I guess you'll watch the replay. Okay.
Right.
So every journey has its bumps. Can you tell us some common mistakes to avoid when building a funnel?
Yeah, so a thing with the funnel is they're very like almost delicate, right? So, when you're having these pages go from this page to this page to this page, and that's why it is important. What I would say, that's where someone like me comes in the picture, because
Yeah.
you have a Fiverr, which is like your Cracker Box funnel, which may be like $300, but sometimes you got to start there. And then you got super big agency that's going to charge you a ton of money. I kind of feel that middle gap of where I'm very relatable. Still, you can reach out to me, but I'm very high knowledge and I understand what's going on. So the reason why I say this is I have seen guys, people who are spending big numbers in ads, have something as simple as the checkout page link wrong, or they like have some weird code in their CSS in one of their PayPal buttons. Okay, let me show you a big one. One of my guys had a humongous webinar with 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh
he
my goodness.
he didn't want me in his funnel because he was nervous about what the numbers were going to be. But I was building the funnel, but he started making edits on his own, and he messed out the checkout page. He did a 5-hour webinar and literally like only had 20% of what he should have sold that day because people couldn't check out. It's as simple as that. Like, so it's good to have somebody who knows what they're doing. And to make it very relatable, if you're building a project at your house, there's a reason why if you get a general contractor, it costs a little bit more because they're
Exactly.
going to manage it and make sure it works properly. But if you say, no, I'm going to go out, find some of the guys that's standing outside of Home Depot, do it myself, you don't know what to look for. And then what's going to happen is you're probably going to pay more by not doing it right. So sometimes it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. And it's so true. Like you can't skimp out on like experts quality. But I think it's so cool that you said go to Fiverr, like start on Fiverr, or if you're ready, they can start with you. But I would suggest learning about funnels and understanding how it works before you
Mhm.
build one, because then you have no idea. It took me like honestly, it took me like 2 weeks to
Yeah,
really tap all the way in and understand. I'm like, wow, this is
yeah,
like amazing. And my friend, she's always like a victim of funnels. I would say that should be like a T-shirt.
yeah.
Be victim of
Victims of
funnels.
funnel.
'Cause she's
Yep.
like, where did you get this eye patch from? She's like, oh, I got it. I saw it online. And it's like a $10 eye patch. And I'm like, you don't even like, why do you keep buying things? But it just speaks to the power of funnels. And I truly believe, especially right now in the economy, it's very important to find out ways that you can generate your own income. So mastering all the things that we talk about on this show and just finding what works for you and using it now is
Mhm.
so important. And we are in a digital age. Sorry, everyone who doesn't like those words, but
Right.
and digital real estate is real.
Yeah.
So for those who have started seeing some success, how can they take it to the next level?
Yeah, so I would say most of the time that's what's good about most people who start seeing success. They're kind of seeing success just off of like their own willpower, and they don't really have like a true system that like could actually amplify what they have going on. So I would say if you do feel like if you're watching this and you feel like you have like some traction in something, it's the perfect time to scale that up and take it to the next level. You know what I mean? Because most of the things that I see when people call me is they're like, hey, I've got this, kind of funnel on Kartra, and I've tried this and done this, but there's so many pieces that they don't have. And basically, one thing that people need to understand is funnels are called funnels, but we're building systems, not websites, systems. So I want to help you pretty much have a system where all pistons are firing, whether that's at the top of funnel with your content. So when that lead comes in, they're going into an email nurture sequence. And what is an email nurture sequence? When people first come through your funnel, are they all going to buy? Of course not. But now that you've opted into my funnel, you're in that automated flow of emails reaching out to you. You may not be ready Tuesday, August 22nd, But on August 31st, maybe that day, and I want to be hanging out in your email, and you say, let me call Tony. So those
Yeah.
are, those are what we need to set up for people is systems. So if you have something kind of going on, build a system around it, because it all starts with one. Let's not look at, oh, I got to hit these big numbers like Justin and all these other people that I showed you. Just look at it. It starts with one. You know what I mean?
It starts with one. That's so it all. And you said, right. It's always like the energy you put into it is
Mm-hmm.
going to predict the outcome. So before we go on to the true gems, right? We still have a few minutes left. Can you all please like this video and also share it on all
Please,
of your
please.
platforms? Like literally, if you have never heard of a funnel, you may be listening to this like I'm confused. But when you actually research it, when you stop watching this, you're gonna be like, and you're gonna rewatch this, and you're gonna know so much that the average person doesn't understand. So when we talk about, so like, subscribe, and then tuned in Tony on Instagram, right?
Yes, right there. Yep.
Yeah, I am on Instagram. Okay. So building relationships with potential customers is key. So how should one approach building a relationship in the digital world?
Yeah. I say building. So when you say building a relationship in the digital world, I think I have the answer for you. Break it down just a little bit more so I can answer it
So
correctly.
like when you are selling to someone in person and the
Mm-hmm.
customer comes in and you're like, "Hey Jan, how's your dog? Um,
Perfect.
how's the family?" So how do we do that digitally with our customers online who we never met yet, but they're in our funnel? How do we grow a relationship with them?
Got you. So I'll show you how. So that's why you need a system, because most people who don't have a system, you're banking on people that are visiting your site for the first time and them taking action. And even if they do buy, like a lot of these e-commerce sites, and like I said, I used to do e-commerce, they buy and then they're gone forever, right? So the good thing about when people opt into things, and I'm gonna have to share my screen one more time so you guys can get the full gist, is you want to have some type of CRM. So can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. You want to have some type of CRM. So as you can see, like these are the past contacts. These are the contacts of people that have opted into my video sales letter funnel the past 30 days, 432 of them. Well, as you can see right here in this section, it's sending welcome emails and different types of emails to all these people. Live webinar invite, welcome to Biz Launch. I'm not personally doing that. That's automated. So
Yes.
when I go to the automation tab and then I show you guys this in detail, it says 41.6% of people are opening up my email, which is very high.
Very
So,
high.
right. So when I show you guys how this works, let me figure out where it is. I want to show you guys like all the different emails so that you guys can like see it and truly understand how it's laid out. So perfect. Here it is. So this flow right here, which you're probably like, that's crazy. It's like a lot. This
Wait.
is, you see it?
Yeah. I'm just like, whoa.
So
Whoa.
as you can see, it starts right here. Then there's an email that goes out as soon as you opt in. Then we wait 25 minutes, send you a text message. And then after 2 hours, we invite you to a webinar. Then it kind of slows down. And every 2 days, it sends you an email, and then another 2 days it sends you another email. So what's happening is I'm curating a conversation of value and nurturing that says Tony Smith in Biz Launch every single day. And that's how I'm building that relationship. So like what
Wow.
I was telling people is not just based on, are they going to buy at this moment? I just need you to get in my matrix, because now when you're in my matrix, you're going to learn. And then you're going to, like I said, this is what I mean when I say, guys, it's not if they're ready Tuesday, August the 22nd. There's 60 days of these emails going out the way I have it spread out. So what I'm hoping is in 2 months after nurturing you, you'll one day say, today's the day I'm going to call Tony. And that's what I want to set up for people, or at least educate people that they need to be doing the same thing in this digital era. You know what I mean?
When is your next webinar? Like, what do you have going? Because listen, I'm talking. I'm going to send you a message as soon as we're done.
uh,
What do you have going on, like, to teach everyone? Like, what I'm speechless.
Yeah. So I'm definitely about to start the webinar train back, doing like teaching in classes. I was focusing completely on customer fulfillment because we started scaling up and everything was just started moving fast. So right now we're just servicing our clientele, but we are going to get back within September. That's when our training start, which is a lot of fun because like when you asked me to talk to this audience, I was excited because it's fun being able to talk to people and teach people. And like I said, when I get to do training, which is one to many, I'm able to like give a lot of you guys value all at once, something I couldn't do just one by one. And then it's not whether you guys become a client today, it's me showing that I do have the knowledge, I do have the reputation and the clients to back up my knowledge. So as long as some people say, hey, let me work with you, that goes back to your initial point about, do I need to work my job or can I one day make this my full-time thing? I don't have to sell to all of you guys. I just need a couple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what you guys could be doing in whatever you're passionate about. You know what I'm saying?
So, okay. What? So, say I work a job, I hate it. I make candles. I'm really good at making candles. People love my candles. But I'm just working this job. I have so many bills. I cannot figure out how to get away from this job. What what could I do? What's the first thing I could do to move towards the point of selling these candles online, building a funnel? Like, what is the first thing I should do if I'm like completely broke? I have no money to spend.
Okay. If you're completely at that level, what I would say do is one, keep your job. And the reason why I say that is actually, let me change it. First, if that's your strategy, change your mindset about your job. So now what you're going to do is you're now going to put your job in the investor role of your new situation that you're going to exit in the next 6 to 8 months. So now instead of you hating your
Wait,
job.
run that back. Say it
Mhm.
again, please.
Yes. So what if you're at a level where you feel like you're flat broke or you're at your job and you hate it and you feel like you're in a cage? If you want to get in this digital train, the first thing you're going to do is change your mindset about your job and look at it instead of it owning you and telling you to be there at 9 to 5, that, hey, this is now my investor. It's about to pay for my next situation that's going to get me to that next situation. So now the money that you take from that job, cut back on anything that you're spending excess money on and start investing that into your new system. Where we're going to start at, because I don't want you guys to get too flustered or too scared about the system. Now you can go to Chat GPT, ask it to write you an ebook, get the pages and the script, then mix it in with your own flavor, your own unique selling proposition about candles. And then you're going to start making content because you have time at this moment right now because you hate your job. You're not doing too much. You got time. What you're going to start doing is showing your process. Get out of the mindset of, I'm not going to get enough likes, I'm not going to get enough shares. Just show your process. And then when people say, girl or bro, how you make those candles like that? Link in the bio. Let them download it. You see what I'm saying? So now when they start downloading it, this is when the funnel starts coming into place. Because you may say, man, I sold 12 ebooks this week for $27. What else could I sell them? So now your ebook becomes that lead magnet on the opt-in page or a tripwire. And after they buy the ebook, you upsell them to maybe like, videos of you actually making the candles so that they can do it with the list of the ingredients and supplies that you use, because ultimately they want to do the same thing as you do. And you took something that you thought was so basic that you had, and you didn't have that skill set in the right vehicle. And now that you took that skill set that you had that you didn't think was valuable and you put it with this vehicle of this funnels, now you can be like, yo, I made $500 extra this month. And guess what? Then one day it's going to be 5,000 extra dollars. And then you're going to tell that job, you know what? I think I'm straight. I'm good. Thank you. You see what I'm saying? But if you would have left that job and then just tried to start your digital business, you would have burnt out and you would have ruined the integrity of your digital business because you would have said, I don't have enough money. This doesn't make sense. And you would have said that digital business failed, but really you just didn't do it in the proper way.
Ooh. And how many of us are doing something in a not the right way, in doing it the wrong way, but we think we're failing and we're not. We just need to pivot. And like you said, if you burn out before you have time to pivot, you'll think you're a failure and you're not. Wow. Okay. Wait, really quick. So is there a specific number of contacts? Like you contact people for 60 days nonstop? Or is there a specific number that you would say this is the number of times you should contact someone? Until they opt out, you just keep like
Yeah. So I think you should keep it going. Like I have like my main nurture sequence. It's really 30 emails and they're spread out every 2 days, which makes it 60 days. But everyone's is different. Like Nehemiah Davis, he has one that goes out literally every single day. He has a team that does it. So it just depends, like, and then another thing that you can do is like you don't have to pay someone. You can use Chat GPT to write these emails. There's a lot of times when I'm
say it
doing
again,
webinar
say it
emails,
again, say it again.
you can use Chat GPT to write these emails. And if you got that time, you know what I'm saying? Plug it into your system, your Go High Level or your Active Campaign, whatever email system you use. So like what I said, guys, is if you don't like where you're at right now, change the mindset of you being there and understand that where you're at, I needed to help finance my next situation. And then every day, just 1% better, just do more, just do more. Next thing you know, you'll look up and you have a system, because if you have more time than money, use that time. If you got more money than time, pay for the system. It's either one of those. So
Okay, so this is a question I ask every guest. What is the toughest obstacle you've had to face? This is a hard, whatever you're willing to share. What is the toughest obstacle you've had to face in life, and how did you overcome it? Because people who watch this show, they're here to get inspired, and I hate to do shows where it's just super successful people talking about I'm successful now. But the importance is to help motivate others and to understand that everybody goes through tough times. And so when I have dynamic guests like you, I love to hear the roughest, toughest moment of your life that you're willing to share, where you were like crawling on the floor, like real, and how did you overcome it?
yeah, so I would say something that people can relate to, and that's still kind of like businessy as well, is when my t-shirt business failed. And I was literally around all of my clients that weren't my clients yet, that are in this digital business. And the thing with digital, guys, is that like the money is a lot different and it's fast and all of this stuff. So like I'm literally at my office broke because my t-shirt business isn't working. And then I'm having these 21-year-old, 23-year-old digital kids talking about, I made 30,000 this week. I did this on my webinar and blah, blah, blah. And then I literally had to stay like save face and just keep going. And that's the hardest thing, is to keep going. And y'all, one of my best friends, Justin, who I showed you his webinar funnel, he's at like, you probably saw the snippet, 3 million in 12 months or whatever. I said, bro, you got to be proud of me. And he told me he is, because I said, when last year, when y'all was there, I was flat broke. I'm married, all this type of stuff. I was flat broke. And then now you're watching me on my sales calls team. We just did 106,000 in revenue for the month. And it's like, a lot of times what I tell people, and what changed my life, was I tell people the worst thing you can do when you're down is not be around. So let me explain that. When I went to Invest Fest last year, I had $300 after I had paid like payroll and all this type of stuff. When I met Will the second time, Will Rivera, he's like a $12 million a year coach. And he didn't know what my financial situation was, but I still had to keep my chest up, my chest out, and do my thing. And he said, "You make funnels?" And he was like, I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, our funnel person isn't good. I'll let you make all of my people's funnel." What if I would have stayed home and said, "I ain't got no money right now. I don't need to be out right now." You see what I'm saying? So
That
when the worst thing you can do when you're down is not be around. You got to stay out there. You got to stay networking. You can't let your situation hold you back.
Well, wait. So look, now that you're up, are you coming to Invest Fest this week?
Yeah, I'm definitely there.
I'm speaking on Saturday as well about
Okay,
franchising. So
nice.
we definitely have to connect, right?
Definitely.
That's so powerful because many people would be like, listen, I'm sorry, but when I started my whole enterprise, I'm like, I'm gonna overdraw my account to get that $300 to go where I need to go because I'm gonna consider it a loan. Honestly,
Mhm.
it's a loan. It's heavy interest because those overdraft fees are like $35.
Yeah.
But hopefully, when you get to where you're going, you just pay it off. So
Right.
that's very, very, very powerful. And thank you for saying that. So if there's anything that you wanted, what would be one thing that you would want to leave us with that you would want us all to know?
Yeah, I think the thing that I would leave you guys with is a mixture of 2 points that I said. The thing that I just said was like, hey, if you feel like you're down, just like don't not be around. Make sure you're still in the scene. And then the other one was what I said earlier with who moved my cheese. Evaluate your situation and see, is your cheese getting smaller? And if it is getting smaller, it's okay to pivot. Change is inevitable. And if you have to make a change, do it. It's going to make sense for you in the long term. Don't stay around just because you feel like mom or dad wants you to be there or people are going to look at you different like you failed. Make that move so that you can take care of you, your household, and your future things that you want to do.
Whew. Listen, you're preaching to me. I don't know about y'all. Last look, we have 4 minutes left. If you have any questions for Tony, please drop them in the chat. And can you let us know where we can find you, how we can work with you, all that good stuff?
Yeah, definitely. So, right there where my name is, you can follow me on Instagram at Tuned In Tony. That's probably the best place because you could just click like the link in my bio and then either watch like a training, DM me, and we could have a conversation. But then if you want to watch my video sales letter, it's funnelhackerworkshop.com. So once again, that's funnelhackerworkshop.com, or just come to my Instagram page and hang out, and then we'll hang out.
I love it. His Instagram page is like a live portal. It's like you're like, in
Yeah.
person. But thank you so much for tapping in with us. Please
Yeah,
make sure we meet at
thank
Investment
God.
uh,
Definitely.
before you leave. And please follow him on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Yes, Tuned In Tony. How
Yep.
did you get this name really quick? I just want to know.
Yeah,
Tuned
so
In.
I used to, when I was in college, it was like I am Tony Graphics because I made graphics all the time. And then when I went through that change, like switching, I was like, I need a new persona. And then I was like, I am Tony Talks, but someone had that and different things. And I needed something that was catchy. And then Tuned In Tony was available like on Instagram and all that. And it's just being tuned in with whatever's going on. Your marketing, the how, the what's up, the what's new. So it's just being tuned in, Tony.
What a great name. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, I hope you love this. Share it, like it, share it everywhere. Bless everyone. It's not just about keeping the information to yourself, but sharing is caring, right?
Yeah.
So join me every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. EST. Next week, we are talking about credit. How to go from 500, maybe 300 to 800 credit. So I'm just saying you might want to tap in. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for inviting me to speak to this amazing audience. What I mean? It was great and I had so much fun. Hope I get to meet you guys in my DMs or somewhere and you at Best Fest.
Yeah, totally. All right, guys, get those funnels created. Start funneling. All right.
All right.
See
Bye.
you, everyone. Bye.